Hi everyone, I'm Rachel Tessman from StampYourArtOut.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Andover, Minnesota in the US. Thank you so much for choosing me as your paper pumpkin coach. I hope you enjoyed receiving your November 2019 kit titled Winter Gifts. If you haven't done so already, be sure to open your kit and begin crafting with it. This exclusive video, which is one of the perks that you get as my personal subscriber, should give you some inspiration if you want to think outside the box and make some alternate projects to what is shown. I hope you enjoy what I have to share. Please note that I also offer other perks to my subscribers: prize drawings, random gifts, links to written project tutorials each month, the opportunity to earn loyalty rewards, lots of other alternate ideas that I post on my blog publicly, and more. Haven't seen these ideas yet? Check out my November 23rd and 28th blog posts at StampYourArtOut.com. And remember, this bonus tutorial video is for my subscribers and members of my Stampers with Art community only, so please do not share this link with others. Thank you for your understanding. I'm excited to create my exclusives just for you, so let's get started. For the first project, we're going to do a gift box, and for this project we're going to use a large wide ribbon. The one that I'm going to use is from the holiday catalog. It's called Real Red Ruched Ribbon. It's about an inch thick. And then I'm going to have some coordinating things with the Real Red, so I'll use the Real Red ink pad and these twirl hiding embellishments. These are glitter enamel dots with the Real Red color in them. I'll also be using a couple tools that you don't get in your box: the ribbon scissors, scissors that I use just for cutting ribbon, my snail adhesive, and then from the kit I want to use this pool party rectangle piece, this banner, the white little strip, rectangle strip, a few of the green holly leaves, some of the green branches, and some dimensionals. So, oh, and of course, the box. So let's start with how we're going to decorate the top of the box. We're going to take our stamp that says a gift for you, and we'll stamp on our white rectangle piece with Real Red ink. Just a hint of that color. Now this will go on top of the blue banner, but we're going to pop that up with dimensionals. Before we do that though, we're going to go ahead and put snail adhesive and lay this down. This will kind of give us a focal point in the middle of our rectangle. And on top of that, we'll have this piece here set up on dimensionals. I'm adding glue dots to the back side of the holly leaves at the base with the Take Your Pick tool. It's also a wonderful tool to have. You can use your fingernail or your fingers or whatever to curl your leaves a little bit, and then we'll just take off the glue dots and start inserting them into and underneath the rectangle. And now I'm going to bring in the Twirl Tidings enamel dots. Just a fun little hint of color there. This will go on the top of the box, so we'll bring in the box here and we'll just add some adhesive. So here are the printed areas of the box. We have the logo for Paper Pumpkin on the front. On the sides we have Winter Gifts, we have November 2019, and we have the Winter Gifts here. On the bottom is where you will have your mailing information. Now, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to apply a product called Goo Gone. It's an adhesive remover. So basically, you rub it on your label, you get your label soaked with the Goo Gone, and then after some time passes, a minute or so, you can peel the label a lot easier. It actually comes up pretty well. And if the adhesive is still kind of clinging, you can take and just kind of dig at it. You can use the Take Your Pick tool to kind of, dig at it as well. And then once this is gone, this is a coated box. It's got a coated surface on it. Once the labels are off of there, then you can wipe it clean with, a damp cloth, and it should come out good as new. There we go. And now we can take and wrap the ribbon around, since it's wide enough, we can wrap it around the words on the side. And the new style box, I know a lot of you are used to the old style, and you loved it, but we have a new style. And the advantage to this new style is that you can wrap your box like this and not have to worry about taking the ribbon off. So we're gonna go ahead and bring it into the middle. Cinch it. Make sure that it's covering up the words on all four sides. Cinch it really tight and tie your knot. If you have to, you can kind of shift it a little bit. And if you want to, you can put glue dots underneath certain parts. So now with this new style box, as you can see, you can still open it. And you don't have to worry about taking the decorative ribbon off. So now let's take our piece here, our accent piece, and we're just going to add that to the top with some dimensionals. And you don't need a lot of dimensionals. You only need one in each corner to give the illusion that the whole thing is raised up. And there's our beautiful, beautiful refurbished gift box ready to go. You can put something fun in there for Christmas. The next project that I'm going to make is a card, and it's going to be a fun fold card, surprise, surprise. It's actually based off of a card that I made a while back, which is this butterfly closure card. You can see how the butterfly acts as kind of a little locking mechanism on the card. So we're going to do that with the snowflake in our kit, the large snowflake, or at least I hope we are. I haven't made the finished card yet, and these are the products that I think you're going to need. The paper cutter / trimmer, some Whisper White thick cardstock, Sia Silhouette paper, we're going to use the blue, kind of a watercolory looking blue side, the classic label punch, blueberry bushel ink, and then we'll use the sequins from the kit for sure, a few of the snowflakes for sure, probably the glue dots. Not sure about the dimensionals yet. And then of course you'll need things like the take your pick tool, scissors, a snail, and then stamps from the kit. So let's start by cutting our cardstock in half in this direction. So we want to make it 5.5 inches wide. And then we're going to score it at 4¼ inches. So we're making our base of our card. And we'll fold that. And as you can see on this card here, our flap, front portion of the card is not all the way, it's not all the way over. We've actually cut a niche out of each side. So we're going to do that with this one too, because we want our snowflake, our large snowflake, to sit a little bit closer to the middle of the card rather than off to the side. So in order to do that, let's measure really quickly. I think it's a half an inch. So we're going to open up our card again. We're going to bring it to the 4¼ inch mark over here, and that will bring our score line right in the cutting channel area. We're going to start our cut at 5 inches because our card is 5.5 inches and we want to cut a half inch away. So we'll cut by starting here, pushing down and pulling, and then we'll lift up the arm and we'll press it down at the ½ inch mark and push it up. So now we've got a cut into each side here that's a ½ inch in. Now we want to decide what the front and back is. I think this is going to be the front of my card, so I'm going to position it this way. So it's a ½ inch in here, and we're going to trim up to, move the scoring blade out of the way, we're going to trim up to that score line. Almost there. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side, but this time we're going to start in the middle of the card and push up and outward. So 4¼ inches is halfway, we'll press down and push out. Yep, there, we removed them. There's our card base. Next we're going to add some designer paper to the front, and as you can see on this card, we have a piece that is 3 inches. Actually, it's 3⅛ inches by 4 inches. The piece on the inside is the full base here. So we're going to need a 5 1/4 by 4-inch piece as well. So let's go ahead and cut a 4-inch strip. I really like that. I think I want to use that in there somewhere. So let's make that one our 5 1/4 inch piece. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let's make this our 3 1/8, because it kind of disappeared off the edge. This is our 3 1/8 inch wide piece for the front, and now we can use that. Looks like a little galaxy thing. We can use that on the inside of our card. Okay? All right, so these pieces can be set out of the way. We're going to take this out of the way. We're going to adhere this to the front of the card with our snail adhesive, and we want to use lots of it. Gosh, even the back side of this paper would have been kind of fun for snow. I love this paper. It's very versatile. Okay, so we're going to set that off to this side by making an 1/8 of an inch all the way around as our embellishment. Before we tack this all the way down, let's put a little fun snowflake peeking out here. And I think I'm going to use a glue dot from the kit. We'll lift one up with the pokey end, set it down, take off the backing, if we can get to it. There we go. And we'll tuck that, before we press that all the way down, we'll tuck that underneath like that. So it's kind of coming out from the side of the card. And then we can add some sequins around there. Now we can punch. So we're going to punch into, and we're going to press this all the way in. You can see it centers that punch by having it that wide. So we're going to start, I don't know, about, so you can see 1/4 of an inch of the paper here. We'll start there. And we can always adjust it. So we're going to actually adjust it right now by moving down a little bit. So now at this point, we're going to see if our snowflake will fit. And it should if we fold it right at this spot here. If we're going to fold it in this direction, we want to make it a little taller. But I think, I'm trying to decide. Hang on. All right, I made my decision because I didn't like the snowflake kind of getting hidden under there when I had just these two coming up and out. So yeah, so we made a score line so that I had these 3 flakes on one side of the score line and these 3 on the other side. You have to have kind of a little tiny base there in order to put some glue dots to attach your snowflake to the inside of the card. So now what we need to do is slather on the adhesive to make a nice strong holding area for our snowflake on the inside of the card. So we'll place that on there, and then we'll grab some glue dots and we're going to adhere them to just the center back side of the snowflake. And now we'll add our snowflake, making sure that that hole, so it's centered in between the hole. We're going to press it down. We'll add a sequin to the middle. We'll add a couple sequins out here. And as we open up our card, the snowflake disappears to the inside. Let's go ahead and stamp this area. Now keep in mind that I just added sequins here. I shouldn't have done that probably. But so make sure that it's a flat surface. And this feels pretty flat here. So that's where we'll add our sentiment. Now you can always stamp that on a separate piece and stick it down like that if you'd like to. But we're going to go with it. And then we'll just add a couple more snowflakes here and there on the inside of our card. And after I added the snowflakes, I added those little sequins in the middle. The only tough part about this card, because it's a little more fragile than the butterfly, is that when you fold these little parts of the snowflake in, you have to kind of grab them all at once. It's not as easy as the snowflake or as the butterfly card. But there is our snowflake version of that card. It's a snowflake closure card. Ta-da! I had to add those blue snowflake stamp images. It just needed something a little bit more. Okay, now we're on to the third project. It's an ornament. We're going to use the clear tiny treat boxes. They come like this. They're flattened out. They have this plastic that you need to take and remove. And once that's removed, you can fold the box into this 2x2x2 little box. It's super cute. So now we're going to embellish it. So I pulled out a few tools. We're going to need the paper trimmer because we're going to trim down 3 of the rectangles from the kit, the Pool Party rectangles. We're going to stamp with Pool Party ink with our snowflake stamp. We're going to use the twine. We're going to use a lot of the embellishments and images from the kit. And first, let's go ahead and figure out how our string is going to be inserted into the box. So you're going to open up the bottom and the top. And you'll see that there's a slight gap. They don't, meet up perfectly, which is great because you'll want to be able to insert your cord, your twine, into those gapped areas. So we'll just bring the twine through on one end. And it looks like if we go corner to corner here, no, let's try it the other way because there's a bigger gap over there. So let's open this up this way. Basically, we're bringing the twine diagonally through the box. So it goes from one corner to an opposite corner. So now we can go ahead and push the bottom of the box back together. We're going to tie, actually that was going to go, hang on, this was going to go to that corner. So we're going to do that again. Open the bottom of the box. The bottom of the box is going to get the bottom of the string. So bringing that through. Okay, so we have the bottom of the string coming out the bottom of the box. We can close up the box again, and it's coming to a corner that's a little more gappy than the other, and then it's going to go to the opposite corner on the top of the box, and we'll just close that up like that. Now we can take and tie a little knot. Actually, we're going to tie a big knot. Tie a knot a few times. And I suppose it depends on how tight you tie it. But there, now we have a good knot at the bottom. We're going to cut about 1/2 inch away from that knot and fray the end. And then when we pull it, it's going to hold right there. And it's going to come out, of course, the top of the box. So this is where we can put a little loop to hang the ornament on our tree. Now if you hang the ornament, it's going to be diagonal, of course, so we're going to have, the pieces are going to be kind of like diamond shapes all the way around. 3 of them are going to face upward and 3 of them are going to face downward. So let's cut some squares. Remember I said the box was 2x2x2, so we're going to cut 1 7/8 by 1 7/8 for each of our pieces, so that they will fit on the box and still have a clear little rim all the way around the edge. So now that I've cut our pieces, we're going to pair them up. So we're going to have 2 dark blues together, 2 light blues together, and flip it over, we have 2 whites together. The white are going to go with the deer and the green little sprigs here. These are actually green if we flip them over. And then the lighter blue is going to go with the tree and the sequins. And we only need 1 tree because the way we're going to cut it. Then we're going to use the darker blue with a large snowflake and 2 small snowflakes. First, let's stamp some snowflakes, though, with Pool Party ink against the Pool Party paper. And I just did a random design on each. All right, let's move this out of the way. So now we want to cut our snowflake in half. We can cut it in half a couple different ways. We can cut going this way, which is what I'm probably going to do. We could cut going this way. It's up to you. I think if we cut this way, though, I can kind of have it off center and fit the smaller one in there somewhere. So let's grab our paper snips and just cut down the middle. Okay, for the trees, we're going to have two opposite trees. So for one, we'll have half the tree base down here, and we'll use little sequins to put little ornaments on there. And then the other one will be going in this direction, same thing. For the reindeer, we're going to put just the head and antlers in there. We'll trim off the body. I know it's such a waste, isn't it? We'll trim off the body, and then we'll add some fun little branches behind. And I am laughing hysterically, but I can't do anything about my mistake. But you guys can fix this when you make yours, okay? So remember what I said about thinking about it on the diamond shape? You want your deer to be going up and down this way, not this way. Same thing with your tree. Oh my goodness. Okay, so, and your tree is large enough where if you have to use, go into half of it this way, you can use the top half for the other piece over here. I made a mistake. All of mine are going up and down this way instead of this way. Okay, that's okay. Yeah, and what I could do is I could put a hole at the top and a hole at the bottom and then bring my string through that way. But I do not wish to do that. I still want to make mine diagonally. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. All right, I think I'm going to start with the deer. And the adhesive will stick to the top of the box, but if you want to, you can use a stronger adhesive like tear and tape adhesive right here. That's good strong stuff. All right, so we're just going to stick it right onto the front panel here. Now this one will be opposite of this one. With the snowflakes, it doesn't matter because they can go in any direction whatsoever. Yeah, another thing that I realized as I'm making this is you probably want to have your adhesive real close to the outside edges. And you can take your twine and, kind of fold it and then pretend like it's all one piece and do an overhand knot like so. And now you have a fun little ornament for the side of your tree. And yeah, sorry about that mistake. Oh my gosh, Rachel. It's gonna have to be as is. That's what crafters do. We sometimes make mistakes, but nobody has to know. Only you guys. All right, for our last project, we're gonna make a double-sided bird. So we're gonna flip the guy over and open up our Poppy Parade ink. And we're going to sponge it so it's red on both sides. Okay, so now we're going to weave our thread through, and that's going to hold so that we can have our bird kind of on a string so he can flip back and forth, okay? Now the next step, and I just have, I don't know, about 12 inches of that twine just to be safe. The next step is to add our holly leaves. And our holly leaves, if you put them back to back, they meet up perfectly. So we're going to put adhesive on the back side of these and we're going to sandwich them onto our bird. And now we'll add these beautiful little berries. Okay, so we have our double-sided bird. Now we're going to bring in a tool called the Big Shot. It's the tool that Stampin' Up! Used to carry for die cutting. And we're going to die cut using 2 sets of dies. So this die comes from the Layering Circles dies, and it's the largest scallop circle. And then these dies come from the Snow Globe Scenes, and we want to use this piece right here. So we're going to die cut first with the scallop circle. I brought my nicer cutting mats in. We're going to cut 2 of these. And then from those, I think it'll be easier if I flip them over so I can see better. From those, we are going to die cut these little pieces on the inside. If you put a Post-it note on top, it secures it. All right, so now that we have those 2 pieces cut, we're going to pull in our snow globe shaker dome pieces, and they look like this, and they coordinate with those snow globe dies. We're going to trim them up a little bit though, so I'm bringing out a pretty strong scissors, and I'm just going to trim down, I don't know, about 1/8 of an inch off. We aren't going to be seeing the edge of it, so it's okay if you don't trim it perfectly, but the scallop circle does not fit exactly around the piece here. You can see as we put that over the top. Now it will. Now it will, if we trim that excess away. So just go ahead and do that to 2 of your pieces. We're going to put 2 of these face to face, or back to back, against each other. And you don't want to trim all the way in because you do need that adhesive. On the front and the back side where the white is, there's a release paper. So we're going to be peeling away the front release paper on each one. We'll start with this one here. To get to it is fun. There we go. So there's one. And you can see how it fits on here. Okay, learn from my mistakes, because I already had to cut an extra one of these. So you actually don't want to start where the flat bottom part is. You want to kind of guide your paper using that flat bottom, but once you're there, you want to aim this top part over first, and then flatten it down, and then go ahead and press this portion in. Okay, so this bottom portion of the snow globe is actually going to become the top of our ornament when we put them together like this. And you can see our bird is going to fit in between. So the next step is to center our bird. We want our bird to float in there like this. So if our bird is in the right position, we can take the release paper and remove it. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove just a portion of the release paper first. Because why have all of that sticky exposed right away? Because it's strong. Okay, so this is the top. This is the bottom. And our bird is going to go like so. And if we want to, we can have the tail coming out of the ornament on either side. That would be kind of fun. Okay, now we want to put some fun little shaker things inside. So this is where it gets tricky, because once we put this down on top of this, it's gonna stick. So if we want to have a little bit of snow in here, we can use our chunky, it's called our ice stamping glitter. Now you could do without this stuff. You don't have to pour it in. In fact, I'm gonna get a little tiny spoon. And we're also going to use some of our snowflake sequins. Those are fun. Again, these are optional, but it just kind of makes for a little bit more festive ornament. Plus, it's going to be stuck inside there for sure, because this tape is so super strong. Okay, so now that we have that in there, the next step is to sandwich these together. In fact, you know what? Let's do this too. Let's make a little loop and bring that down like that. That should be good to go. Okay, we've peeled off the backing, and the goal is to line it all up. Your scallops may not meet. That's okay. The goal is to seal it all in. There's our finished ornament. Ta-da! It's got little snow at the bottom. So cute. I want to show you a couple other ornaments that inspired me to make this one. This ornament was given to me by Vicki Spicer, and it's using the Feels Like Frost designer paper with, of course, the die that's in that Snow Globe Scenes set. It's got the shaker stuff in there, and then this one also has the same shaker stuff, the ice stamp and glitter and the snowflake sequins. It looks like navy cardstock in the background, some of the dies from that kit, and some dies from the Peaceful Boughs. I think that's how you call it, what you call it, that set of dies. This one was given to me by Terry Zupancic, and they are fellow demonstrators in my group that went out to Portland for On Stage. These were gifts that those gals gave me. So sweet of them. Thank you for watching. It builds creativity to think outside the box. Be sure that you have access to all my other Paper Pumpkin project ideas and helpful resources. Follow me on Pinterest, subscribe to my YouTube channel, definitely subscribe to my website at stampyourartout.com so that you can see other Paper Pumpkin ideas that I share and to access resources and get the latest Paper Pumpkin news. Subscribe to my newsletter, and if you're on Facebook, please join my Paper Pumpkin fan club. It is amazing, all the sharing that goes on there. I promise you'll be inspired daily. I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial. Now I'd like you all to go and stamp your art out. Bye-bye.